Quiet in the courtroom, please. Your Honor, this is case number 590 on the calendar in the matter of Sokar versus Van Dorn. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated, ma'am. Have a seat. You're welcome, Judge.
Mr. Sokar, the defendant is your former wife.
Yes, ma'am.
When were you married?
October 21st, 2001.
And you have a child together. Your child was born when?
May 12, 1999.
It's a girl. So
Yes,
the time your daughter was born, you were not married. You married when she was about a year and some months old. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you divorce?
I don't remember. It
July
was
3rd of 2001. We were actually married in 2000.
Were you living together at the time your daughter was born?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that right?
Yes, we were.
This is your complaint, Mr. Sokar. At the time your daughter was born, your former wife was receiving some sort of Medicaid.
Yes.
And the state of Kansas says that they spent $6,000 for the medical bills that surrounded your daughter's birth. According to you, you negotiated with them and got that amount down to $3,000, which you've been forced to pay.
Right.
You want Ms. Van Dorn to reimburse you $1,500, which is her half of the medical bills for your daughter's birth. That's what the case is about.
Right.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, there are certain facts that we can stipulate are true. A, you were living together at the time your daughter was born. B, that there is no question that the state has taken $3,000 from your salary or whatever for the baby's birth, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That there's no question you are the father of this child.
Right.
So, Ms. Van Dorn, I would like you to tell me why you don't feel, as the mother, that you're responsible for half of the medical bills.
At the time that I was pregnant, I was 19 years old. As I said, I was working part-time. I was also going to school full-time, not eligible for insurance. So I did get assistance from the state. At the same time, Mr. Sokar, who was living with me, but in a house that my dad was paying rent for, my dad basically supported me the entire first year that after we had moved from Los Angeles. And I told Mark I was moving to Kansas with or without him because I needed the support of my family. He'd even suggested me to get an abortion on at least one occasion, at least twice. He obviously didn't want to take responsibility for the child from the get-go. So my opinion was that, you know, I didn't know how long he was going to be sticking around. He obviously wasn't dependable. He couldn't keep a job.
Was he working?
He was not working. He had started to...
Well, now let's talk about now. Mr. Sokar, do you see your daughter regularly?
I see her every 2 weeks.
Overnight?
Yes, ma'am.
And you exercise that visitation regularly?
Yes, ma'am. I try to.
Try to is not an answer. Is there any reason?
When she shows up sometimes.
Your Honor, it's not that I'm not showing up. It's that he calls with absolutely no excuse several hours before, you know, not even giving me any notice that he's not going to show up, and yet continues to take me to court to fight for more visitation, and he's not even following through with it. He's not showing up.
All right, but there is a court order of visitation every other weekend. And what is the support order?
It is $255 a month.
When was that order made?
It was made in...
It was part of our divorce decree. It was scheduled payments for to begin in April 1st of 2001.
Is that correct, sir? That $255 a month was to commence April 1st?
Yes, ma'am.
2001?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you current in your support payments?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No, I'm not.
How far behind are you?
I'm about 6 months behind.
It's more like over a year.
I'm 6 months behind, ma'am.
Just a second. Why are you 6 months behind?
Because I didn't have a job, ma'am.
How did you support yourself?
Unemployment.
So how much did you get from unemployment?
I was getting about $250 a week.
So why weren't you paying $255 a month for your child?
Because I had a rent to pay, I had a car payment, plus I was paying off my...
Who cares about your car? Sell it. Who cares about your car? Who cares about your car, your gas, your insurance? Who cares about those things? You have a child.
Truth is, he's actually...
Shh. Well, you know how much $255 a month is times 6? Mr. Sokar?
No, ma'am, I don't.
$1,530.
Okay.
May I speak, Your Honor?
No. She says you're more behind, but you say you're 6 months behind. 6 months behind is $1,530. You want $1,500
I'm still fighting
from her.
for that.
Fighting for what?
My child support payments.
Yeah.
And they're garnishing them right now as we speak.
Well, they should. Of course they should, because you stopped paying.
They're doing it right now.
How much are they garnishing? $255 a month?
Nope, they're about to garnish almost $400 a month now.
Way to go.
I think so.
Way to go. And that's if you don't quit this job when they start to garnish.
Right.
How many times have you done that?
What's that?
Have you ever quit a job, Mr. Sokar?
No, ma'am, I have not.
You've never quit a job?
No, ma'am.
He just gets fired.
Oh, well, that's a possibility. Quitting gets fired. Well, you had to get fired if you collected unemployment insurance. How long did you collect unemployment for?
For about 7 months.
So it's probably more like 7 months that you didn't pay child support.
No, but I was paying her too sometimes.
What do you mean you were paying her too sometimes? What does that mean?
I mean,
Your Honor, I've never received any
like giving her
direct payments
cash,
from
like
him.
clothes for my daughter and
I don't care
diapers and
about
things else
clothes.
too.
I don't care about clothes, diapers, formula, whatever.
No.
Cash money.
No.
Cash money. TFT. As my grandmother used to say. Tachas tish. Put it right there, in the bank. If you can't put it in the bank, it's not support. Do you
Yes, ma'am.
understand, Mr. Sakar?
I sure do.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Mark Sokar says ex-wife Jennifer Van Dorn owes for half the cost of their child's birth. Jennifer claims Mark doesn't pay child support.
I tell you what I'm going to do, sir. When you're all caught up on your arrears, all caught up, whatever the court says that your arrears are,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not going to finally dispose of this case, Mr. Sakar.
Yes, ma'am.
What I'm going to do is dismiss it without prejudice. When you're all caught up in whatever millennium that is,
Yes, ma'am.
in your child support, you feel free to come back here and sue your ex-wife for the $1,500 that you claim
Sure.
she owes you for half birthing of your daughter. Do you understand?
Sure
Isn't
do.
that fair? Wonderful. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I just think it's ridiculous that he's coming after me for something several years ago when he's not currently supporting his child.
Because I lost my job, that's why.
It's obvious that he's not taking a responsible role as a father.
Well, I think she's pathetic.
In the end, he's still trying to get money out of me when I'm the one who deserves the support for my daughter.
I think she's a liar.
He's probably never going to be able to have a steady job to get any support.
Don't trust a woman like her.
I'm looking at a completely undependable father for my daughter.
She never let me see my kid anyways.
He's just desperate for money because he can't keep a job.
She's full of it.
Any job he can get, they're completely garnishing for this. He'll never have any money.
I still won.
Basically, his girlfriend's taking care of him while he sits at home and does nothing.
No, no.
She's going to figure out very soon that he is not there for her.
She wants more money for herself.
His true intentions are just to pick fights with me.
I'm done.
I wish I had a dependable father for my child.
And now the next case.